Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Harpreet. Um, I'm super excited to be starting this channel. It's something that I've thought about for a really long time, and it's finally something that I am bringing to fruition. So it's again, it feels a little bit surreal that I'm actually finally doing this, but I'm super excited to start this journey finally. Uh, I want to tell you a little bit about myself before I tell you what my channel is, the purpose of my channel and what I'd like to accomplish with it. Like I said, my name is Harpreet and I'm Canadian. I was born and raised in British Columbia. I am one of two children, and I was raised by a single mother. You could probably tell by my name, I'm of South Asian descent. And I still reside in Canada. And I got my undergraduate, or what we call here a bachelor's degree, from the Simon Fraser University, and I got my law degree at the University of Victoria. I've been practicing law for 10 years, and this is obviously a far departure from law, and it's really just a personal interest of mine. To give you a little bit of background as to how I began my career and where it is now. My undergraduate degree was in criminology and women's studies, and while I did a small stint in criminal law before I completed my law degree, I ultimately did not pursue it. I went into family law for a couple of years, and then I moved on to civil litigation, and I do a lot of construction and insurance and commercial types of law, which is not really what this channel is about. I wanted to just give you an indication as to where my experiences and where my thoughts come from, by you knowing a little bit about myself. I'm this channel. This channel is really just about me being able to express myself in a platform that I've always wanted to use. It's also hopefully going to be an avenue for people to use as a resource, and I don't think that I have any restrictions on what my topics will be, what I want to canvas. It's really going to be as organic as possible, and if that means, you know, touching on topics that people are not comfortable with, that's what that means. But it also means that I'm happy to discuss mundane topics, anything from food, and anything to from food to politics is, part of this domain. And I would like to make this a safe place where we can all share our thoughts, and hopefully help each other, and ideally become a better world because of it. And that's what I'm hoping for. So today, I thought that I would start with something rather ominous, to be honest. It's not a cheerful topic, but we're slowly coming out of the COVID era, as we all know, and I don't want to discuss COVID itself because I think there's a lot of information out there already, and I feel it's probably best to just leave it to the experts. But what I do want to discuss is there's a lot of people that are coming out and they're leaving relationships, and you certainly don't get to the stage in life that I'm at without having had some heartache and gained some knowledge as to how to handle a breakup in a healthy way, so that you can move forward in your life and continue to have a positive experience. So I thought that I would very briefly discuss what lessons I've learned and coping mechanisms, so that when you're coming out of this COVID crisis and you're looking for a move, that you have some tools to be able to help you. One of the things I should say right off the bat is, I'm not saying every breakup is the same, certainly not. And, if you're in a situation where safety or abuse or there's a certain level of toxicity that you need to deal with, that's a totally different scenario, and you have to have a lot of planning involved to get out of those types of abusive relationships. But that doesn't mean that information doesn't apply to all types of breakups. So the first thing I want to share with everyone is that recognize why you're having a breakup, whether you're the person that's been broken up with or whether you're the person that's ultimately made that decision. Recognize what it is that you're trying to get out of it. Are you actually leaving an abusive relationship? Are you just trying to better yourself? Have you just fallen out of love? Were you cheated on? Whatever the case may be, recognize what the purpose is, and the purpose might be, I deserve better. I need a safe place to go. And knowing what type of breakup you are going through is useful for you to remind yourself as to why you make that decision, and why you're sticking with that type of decision. Because I think if anybody's gone through something like this, you know that you second guess yourself a lot. Once you've had some distance, you start romanticizing what the situation is, and you can't gain growth in your life if you don't follow through with some decisions. And that doesn't mean that you don't necessarily get back together with somebody. Maybe that is the right choice ultimately, but you need that distance, and you need clarity, and you need that space in order to do it originally. So one, know your purpose and what type of relationship you are dealing with and why you are breaking up. Two, once you've made the decision and you have left and you're breaking up, and it's so natural. You want to call the person, something reminds you, there's a song, maybe you have a few too many drinks, whatever the case may be. Totally normal, totally natural. We have all been there. And what I would say to that is, I don't know where I got this information, but it became my mantra at one point in time, where I implemented the 20-minute rule into my life, which really meant to me that if I had the urge that I wanted to speak to somebody, I would say, okay, I will speak to them, but I'm going to give myself 20 minutes. And I would time myself, I would busy myself for 20 minutes. And what you'll find is with it, after those 20 minutes, that pang, that urgency, that deep desire that you've got to, talk to this person, you got to get the last word, whatever the case may be, it subsides. Or it doesn't. And in the case, if it doesn't, you reset the timer. But in your brain, you're telling yourself, I will allow myself the 20 minutes, because if I give myself the 20 minutes, that's already a small battle that I've won with myself. So you let it subside and then you continue to move on for, your rest of your day, or it doesn't, you give yourself another 20 minutes. And if it continues to, call on you to say, I want to make that call, I need to, send that text, and it's not the right thing to do simply because you're trying to leave this relationship, and that's the back and forth that causes a lot of more heartache. You have to come to a point where you start appreciating and recognizing that, oh, I've already made it 20 minutes, and really celebrating that. And I think once you start giving yourself permission to say, oh, I've already, usually I would have immediately messaged, and you've given yourself now the 20 minutes, and you didn't do it, and you're still waiting, you've already won something. You've already done something quite different. And so that achievement should hopefully try to carry you forward, and you just keep that going as much as you can. And if that means you need to call a friend, that means you need to take a shower, read a book, whatever works for you, do yoga, you do that to give yourself another 20 minutes, another 20 minutes. And what you'll find at the end of the process is if you can do it for one day, that achievement will help you the next day, because you'll say, I've already done the unthinkable, because I think when we go through breakups, we often think, I can't get through this. I can't live a day without, so-and-so. But the reality is you can. And if you can get through the 20 minutes, you can get through the 2 hours, and then you can get through the 24 hours, you've already proven yourself wrong. And it takes time to rethink that process, but I promise you, this is a tried and true method, not just for myself, but my friends have done it as well, because I'm a huge advocate for it. Do not be impulsive, and keep that trend going. And before you know it, those urges will fall, and you'll have a successful real break to get clarity, and ensure that the purpose that you left your relationship was the right one, and you can move forward however you choose. The last thing I want to share, which is pretty common sense, but we often don't say this to ourselves when we're going through something really tough in our life, and a life change, is that you will get through it. There is so much difficultness, and there is so much negativity and bad things happening in this world. And I promise you that what you're going through, while it is important and valuable, it is not the worst thing in the world, and you will get through it. And hopefully there will be an opportunity for me to share more of that information as well. But for now, that's kind of what I'm hoping to be able to tell all of you, is that coming out of this situation, you might find yourself in a different life, and there's nothing that one cannot overcome if we change our mindset to do it. And I hope that all of you continue to have a very safe and positive experience coming out of COVID. And if you are leaving a relationship, that these tools help you and remind you that you can do this. Anyway, so that's it for me today. Hopefully I will see you soon. And if there's anything that you would like for me to actually talk about specifically, feel free to email me, and I'd be happy to bring that topic up. So tune in next time for Harp Tell It Like It Is. Thanks.